to transfer data between Apache Spark Pool and a dedicated SQL pool, we should authenticate the two services. In this demo, I'm going to show you how to do the authentication between the two services.
Another way to authenticate is using SQL Authentication instead the Azure Active Directory Azure AD with the Azure Synapse Apache Spark Pool to Synapse SQL Connector. Currently, the Azure Synapse Apache Pool Spark to Synapse SQL Connector does not support a token-based authentication to a dedicated SQL pool that is outside of the workspace of Azure Synapse Analytics. In order to establish transfer data to a dedicated pool, the outside of the workspace without Azure AD, you would have the SQL authentication to read data from the a dedicated SQL pool outside your workspace without Azure AD. You use the read API. The read API works for internal table, managed table, and external table in the dedicated SQL pool. So for that, we can use this syntax to establish this connection. Is the data frame SQL Spark option constant server is the name of the server, the user is the SQL user, and the SQL password. And SQL Analytics is the DB name and the schema table name. To summarize, the constant server specifies the URL of the server. The constant user is the SQL login username. The constant password is the SQL server login password. The DB name, the name of the database. The schema is the definition such as a DBU or a specific schema. And a table name, the name of the table that you want to read data from. So in order to write data to dedicated SQL pool, you use the write API. The write API creates the table in the dedicated SQL pool, and then use Polybase to load the data into a SQL that was curated. For that, you can use the extra syntax. Is the table type is the specification of the table type, which can take two values. Is the constant internal is the managed table in SQL pool, and the external is external in a dedicated SQL pool.